Nowadays, one of the most common mental health problems is depression. In the Western world, one might even call it endemic. Surprisingly, however, not many people actually know the common signs of depression, or the serious health risks such a state could cause. Watch the full video and learn how to recognize these signs early on. In most cases, depression usually goes undetected until people realize something is wrong. It is increasingly important that the signs are well known and that people recognize them not only in their own behavior, but in others also. The earlier on we realize that something is wrong, the higher the likelihood of being able to help effectively. In this video, we will be talking about 9 very common signs of depression. So make sure to watch the video from start to finish, as it's really important that you know all of them. We have left the most important one for last. Those suffering from a symptom as severe as that one should seek professional help right away. Number 1. The first, perhaps most well-known symptom of depression is sadness and low mood. However, it is important to mention that sadness alone does not mean someone is depressed. Only when being sad becomes a constant feeling in someone's life, and it impacts every aspect of their daily life, does it become worrisome and a reason to suspect something is wrong. If we recognize that someone in our life is experiencing the feelings of sadness, or that you have been experiencing sadness constantly over a long period of time, it is advised to get to the bottom of this and ask what might be causing those feelings. A key thing to investigate is what the root cause of these feelings is. Certain occurrences that happen in life might make us feel sad and put us in a bad mood. The difference between normal sadness and depression is that the sadness felt is disproportionate to the size of the problem, or seemingly might not have a real cause at all. Number 2. Another symptom that is similar to the previous one is the inability to be joyful. Individuals suffering from depression find it very hard to be happy or find it impossible to feel joy in their lives at all. A very obvious sign of this is when they no longer enjoy the things that would normally have given them a great deal of pleasure. When someone stops taking part in their usual fun hobbies or activities, or if they don't find it pleasurable anymore, and they're just kind of going through the motions to pass time, it might be worthwhile keeping an eye on them. Perhaps there are other symptoms of depression present in their lives too. Number 3. Another very typical symptom of depression is self-hatred. People suffering from depression will find it very hard to find or even see positive things about themselves. They might feel useless, they might think that they are worthless, or feel that they only have bad qualities. They only approach things relating to themselves from a negative perspective, sometimes thinking that they can only cause bad things to happen. For example, say if they got a promotion, they would think to themselves, "I should have gotten this ages ago." Another example would be that even when they perform well at work, they say, "If my colleague hadn't helped me, I would definitely have failed at this." Therefore, even when objectively good things happen to them, nothing can pull them out of this negative state of mentality. Number 4. A symptom that makes depression especially frightening for those who are experiencing it is the feeling of no hope. They feel as if their lives are going nowhere, that their state will never get better, only bad things ever happen to them, and the future only holds even more bad things for them too. Often this is not true, but sufferers generally perceive it that way. Another interesting aspect is that people in this state rarely ask for help. How could they? Not when they feel they've tried everything, yet nothing's gotten better. Why should they bother people with their own issues, since they know no one can help them? Thoughts like these are what deter people from asking for help in time. They will only be able to ask for help when depression becomes much more severe. Number 5. Once there is no hope, it's not surprising that nothing really interests the person who is depressed. Those old hobbies that used to provide them with joy no longer do. Goals are no longer attainable, and they see no way of escaping this state of mind. From their perspective, it makes complete sense to react in this way, and therefore they have no interest in anything at all anymore. These thoughts are not based on reality, though. Number 6. Poor concentration is a further common symptom. Depression is an incredibly tiring disease. The brain uses a large portion of its energy over and over, repeating the same thoughts that confirm and restate the awfulness of depression. This ensures the state of depression is a constant in their life. Of course, this is not because the brain is actively trying to hurt the individual. It just happens to be that based on previous experiences, these are the thoughts and connections the brain emphasizes in its own self-defense to ensure that it avoids further disappointment and the larger life issues. This sort of thinking then overpowers all other thoughts, further reassuring the individual of their negative self-image. Therefore, it is very difficult for people with depression to concentrate on tasks. Anything that could remotely remind them of something bad, the brain takes full advantage of. It then begins to repeat, reinforce, and overthink these negative things. How could anyone get anything done under these circumstances? Number 7. Depression is not only mentally tiring, but it can also manifest itself into physical symptoms too. A very common indicator is insomnia. Usually this means that people with depression find it tremendously difficult to fall asleep. They then stay up late and lay awake in bed for hours. They could even wake up throughout the night and find it hard to fall asleep again, or simply wake up hours before they're supposed to. However, insomnia is not only characterized by difficulties falling asleep. An abnormal need for sleep could also be a sign of depression. This could mean that they don't want to get out of bed, instead they sleep however much they possibly can, if they can. Weight loss or weight gain can also be a symptom, though this is only really a symptom when it's unintentional, without any attempt to lose or gain weight, when the appetite increases or decreases by itself. Other interesting indicators of depression are recurring and long-lasting headaches, fatigue, and digestive issues too. Digestive issues could mean stomach aches, stomach cramps, or even diarrhea or constipation. Number 8. From the previously mentioned symptoms, there are 3 that are highly important. They are referred to as the cognitive triad. The triad refers to the 3 main components that are all common symptoms felt by people suffering from depression. These encompass their thoughts about themselves, the future, and life in general. I am worthless, the world is an awful place, nothing will ever change, and everything the future holds is terrible. These are all kinds of thoughts that American psychologist and researcher of depression Aaron T. Beck found. Due to his work, it is sometimes referred to as the Beck triad. Number 9. The final and most serious and dangerous symptom of depression is suicidal thoughts. The constant negativity, inability to feel joy and happiness, the perceived impossibility of escape from such a state sometimes results in the presence of these awful thoughts. Suicidal thoughts appear because people fighting depression can't see any other solution or way out. They have tried everything else to feel better. Suicide, contrary to popular belief, is not a result of a weak character. People generally do not want to die. Their thoughts, however, take over, and therefore they desperately try to find a way out simply to not feel so low, so awful, all the time. In the end, because they see absolutely no other way of stopping the awful cycle, they believe that the only solution is to end their own lives. As we have mentioned before, depression is the result of the symptoms collectively. The fact that some of these symptoms are present in someone's life does not instantly mean that they are depressed. To be able to accurately diagnose someone, you need the help of a professional, a psychologist or a psychiatrist. It is very important to know the telltale signs in order to ask for help before it becomes too late. The emergence of suicidal thoughts is really the only exception. You can never disregard their severity, even if it is the only symptom present. How many symptoms have you heard before? Were there any you never knew about until now? Please feel free to give us your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, and if you liked the video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel to see our other videos on additionally related content.